Hello and welcome my dear viewers. I'm Joanna and I'm so glad that you are here. Today I invite you to the recording that I'm doing here for the first time, and I'm so excited because it will be about my top 50 favorite board games from 2020. Don't worry, today will be only first 10 board games, but I hope you will like my choices and come back here to the next episodes. And today I'm twice as stressed. Why? Because it's not a secret that English is not my native language. I know that my pronunciation is not very good, and I would like to give you a really nice video about really great board games, so I will try to speak my best. Probably it won't be without mistakes, but I hope finally that you will like it. If so, it will be awesome if you join my subscribers and leave a like, and thank you very much for this, of course. So now, check out 10 of my best board games. If you are wondering which board game are open my list favorite board games from 2020, you will find out in a moment. This is a game that has been with me from many years. Maybe it's not the first board game I have played, but in my collection there's been for many years, and yeah, I came back and play for time to time. So today the first place, or actually the last place in my ranking, is Smallworld. When I choose this game to play, one condition must be met. Other players, my friends, shouldn't be afraid to fight. Then, should even like to do it. The fact that I like it is well known, my Polish viewers, and now you know it too. So, in this game we will fight for control over the areas. So we choose a faction and it will have a random ability each time we play a new game. And that is very cool about this game. Simple rules and a lot of variables, so we have a nice combination here. And of course, a lot negative interaction between players, so something that I like very much, as you know. Recently, you could see the new version of Smallworld. In this version, game is set in the world of Warcraft. So, Smallworld of Warcraft is a new game, but actually is the same as the old one. We have very nice graphics here. The old boards have been replaced by modular area tiles, and that is a great change in my opinion. Generally, both of these games are great proposition for new players, for example, and if I host such games or play with casual players, I play these games and always have a great time. The next place, a large box, and within it the possibility of building an intergalactic empire. One of the 3 games in a series Race for the Galaxy, as you can see in this case, is about new frontiers. So, we have Race for the Galaxy, as I just mentioned. There is Roll for the Galaxy, and in this case it's about new frontiers. What is in this box? There are colorful dice, but we won't roll this like in Roll for the Galaxy. We can also find a lot of planets here. We will draw them from the back. We can colonize them and perhaps we can get some resources and goods from them. Then we will use these cubes because they are resources in this game. But what else is there in this board game? Technologies. The little ones, they are also big ones. We'll get smaller ones easier, especially in the beginning of the game. And the big ones are harder to get, but they provide much better opportunities for us. So you can say that New Frontiers is a game that will take us a bit into space, but in fact our goal is to create a well-functioning engine for points. During the game, you need to arrange the planets cleverly, colonize them and perhaps obtain resources. acquire technology, I mean, build your cosmic empire. So this is very nice game that I like very much.
Service to Brighton, fast to East Croydon, then
building an empire and cubes of different colors. I know we had it just in a moment ago, but here it's again. Of course, this time in a different game. Here we will build an empire by creating a wonderful world. So, in the board game, it's a wonderful world. We will have to juggle with these tiny cubes. These are our resources. We have to collect them to expand our empire, to build new locations and get new bonuses and new resources. What is interesting, when we starting the game, we have a very nice choosing. I mean, choosing the side of the empire card. Either all players play the same side of the empire card or choose different sides, so different resources at the start. I like this kind of symmetry. Resources in this game are necessary to build new locations, and these buildings provide various bonuses and to expand our empire. We choose the cards in the form of a draft, and here we will also consider what cards to leave in hand, which cards to give to the opponents. These are always tough choices. But the next difficult decisions are what locations to build and which cards to use as resources to build other cards, other locations. So our attention will be focused on choosing the optimal option for us. But you have to remember that the game will end someday, so we have limited time for all of this. Finally, we count the points we managed to get. Seems simple, but in fact, you have to do a lot of preparation to win. So, if you want to build a brave new world, let's do it in this game. It will be possible, and you have more nice options, exactly 5 scenarios in War of Peace expansion to this game, but I can say more because I think you should discover yourself. I can only say that it's worth. So it's a wonderful world, really great game, and one of my favorite ones. So now, maybe let's take a little break. What will you say if I take you on some vacation? Yes, holiday trip, especially in this year, is something everyone is waiting for. So, we choose Italy, Sicily, or maybe Croatia. Anyway, in Italy and Croatia, maybe you know city like Ragusa, or rather, I should say, a board game like Ragusa. So now I will talk about this game. So in Ragusa we are going to build, but here we won't build a, galactic empire or an empire in general. We only build houses here. Just little houses on this big board. We start with the village areas where we build houses by connecting 3 hexes. This may remind you of the Catan game. We get resources and we keep building in town. And here, each area will provide us with a different interesting ability. For example, when we go to the market, we will gain access to goods cards. In this game, we will be speculating on the value of goods. And that's exactly what I like about this game. When to sell, when to buy, what goods. We will consider this while looking at the levels. We see them on the track at the top of the board. Basically, enjoyable and fun way to build for this game. So it's that kind of vacation. Croatia Dubrovnik used to be called Ragusa. It's a great place for holidays and more. It's a great Euro game for any occasion. Have you ever wondered what could be the result of combining ancient mythology with cosmic invaders? I know, it seems weird, but not in board games, right? This kind of connecting is possible only in board games. Board games like this one of my favorites, Lords of Hellas, a large board, lots of miniatures, including some really large ones, and a game in which it is about strategic management of our army. Are you interested? So listen and see more. In this game, each of us takes the role of a chosen hero. And what I always like in board games, here we have asymmetrical heroes, so each of us will, I think I can say that, specialize in something else. Basically, during the game, we try to gain control over strategically important areas on this huge map. But when we met armies of other players, the fight begins, and this is definitely something that I'm waiting for. Of course, in this game, we will not only fight each other. Sometimes we will have to defeat a monster that is just a combination of mythological creatures and some aliens. I'm not sure, but I know that these miniatures look great. In fact, not just this, because in this game we also have powerful monuments, huge statues that we will build and pray to them. Actually, in this game we are going to the focusing on hand management, card drafting, area movement and of course area influence. All of these things create a really wonderful, atmospheric, dynamic, strategic board game that I always have fun playing. So Lords of Hellas is one of my favorite board games. And now I will tell you, and in a moment I will show you a game that is my discovery this year. This game came to me by completely accident, but I'm so glad that this kind of incident happens to me. Why? Because this game amazed me, and to be honest, as soon as I have opportunity and right company, I choose it to play. This game is Ale of Skye, from Chieftain to King. This game, in my opinion, is a very enjoyable family game, and yeah, if I think about it, I most often play it with my family. So what do I like about it, or what do we like about it? I think many things. I definitely have a weakness for screens, basically in board games. In this game, each player has a screen and it is used to hide their money. It's important that other players do not know how many coins I have, because we are bidding every turn. As much as I like this moment in Cyclades, it is one of the best mechanics in this game. But I also like filling areas and making them our play areas, like on Carcassonne. This matching these tiles together to score points is challenging. And at the same time, I look at the situation of other players and of course at which area will give me points in the next turn. This is a game by Alexander Pfister, author such a board games like Maracaibo or Great Western Trail is one of my favorites. So I just told you a bit what will be in next episode of my top list. Visually, this game can remind you Agricola, and rightly so, because it has the same graphics. I mean, Clemens, France. Generally, Ale of Skye is a very nice board game. And now, my dear viewers, will be a game that, like Ragusa, take us to a specific city. It is also tourist town, and we, as players, will walk around it and try to get some victory points. It's Istanbul In my version of the game, it's Big Box, which is core box, of course, and 2 expansions. So, in this game, we move around the town of Istanbul, moving from tile to tile. The entire map is made up of random terrain tiles. Each of them will provide us with different abilities, and we will be able to perform different actions on them. We are the mentions. Fortunately, we also have helpers. They are such wooden discs, so while moving, we leave the helpers in the area where we want to perform the action. When we run out of helpers, we must go back to retrieve them or call them all to the fountain in the city center. But this is only part of the possibilities we have here. In addition to moving and performing various actions in the city, we can meet different characters, such as the Major or the Smuggler. I like this character. So, generally, players get such trucks for their goods. Their trucks have holes in the start of the game, and I think that it's a good idea to fix them during the game, because, you know, when we do this, then we will load more, and this means that we will sell more goods in the market in the city. But you have to know that our goal is really to get those shiny red crystals. I really like to play this board game and definitely recommend it. If you don't know it yet, be sure to check that. Well, now something that, as you heard before, I really like in board games, because I think it got a little too nice. So now, fight! In a card game, Siege Storm, Siege Mode. The game in which we move our warriors on the track. We try to use their abilities to attack the enemy as effectively as possible. The action here is happening all the time, and that's what I like very much in Siege Storm, Siege Mode. But back to the game itself. The location of our units will be very important here, as some cards affect other cards. Sometimes the ones in front of us are sometimes behind us. This is very interesting mechanics. I like this move very much, and pushing cards in combat. Basically, we have to decide how to make our own defense and who to put on the attack. These are quick actions. How it is in combat, dynamic blows, and you have to be careful not to run out of cards, because then we will lose. Siege Storm Siege Mode is a very beautifully illustrated game. The graphics on the cards are very much in my taste. I just like this style. And I like it when we have eye-catching graphics, especially in card games. For me, this game has them. So Siege Storm Siege Mode has a lot of attributes that make me like it very much, so it is in my ranking of favorite board games. And now you may think that it will be some kind of déjà vu. You ask me why? Because this is a game from the universe that I have already talked about today, but this time will be different version with screens. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Roll for the Galaxy. In this game, we have dice that we will roll, not like the New Frontiers I showed at the beginning of this recording, this top list. So we have dice and colorful cups, which, by the way, somehow do not fit the whole thing in this game. Maybe more like, I don't know, beach molds, sand cupcakes, but of course it's always a matter of taste. Okay, let's forget it. So in this game we will also building a galactic empire, but this time in slightly different way than in New Frontiers. So we have dice, which are kind of our employees in this game. We will send them to perform actions, and this is the best moment in the game, that the decisions of how to allocate the dice and the results of them are held in secret, just behind the screens. It's so cool to wonder what another players can choose and whether I will be able to use this action, or maybe it will be safer to run the action myself because I want to run it, or maybe I do not have the results of my dice that allow me to do so. Great, excellent, just perfect combination and searching for solutions. I like it very much about Roll for the Galaxy, so this game just had to be in my top list. The last game today, I mean in this video, but I hope you like it and you came back here to the next episode when I will show you the next 20 places of my favorite board games. It will be something interesting, I hope, for you. But now, 41st place, Lorenzo Il Magnifico, we will go to Italy, to Renaissance Italy, to send workers to the board and score victory points as fathers of Florentine families or something like that. But before I say a little more about the game itself, check out this graphics, either on the box or on the back of the player boards and the main board. How pretty are those? I wish I could see these patterns while playing. In my opinion, the great atmosphere does it. And let me say, bravo Clemens Franz, that's great. That's great. He's of course illustrator of this game. All right, now I will tell you about the game. As I mentioned, we sent our employees to different areas of the board. Each of them will provide different options. But here, on the big board, one of the more important things is the cards waiting for us in the 4 towers. These are different types of cards. Buildings or investments or different types of characters. Each of them important, needed. Not everyone will be able to get hold because I can set only one marker on one tower, so the order of the players will be very important here. Similar of the other areas where there is only enough space for some players. This board game closes first part of my ranking. Did you like it? I hope so. Thank you very much guys for watching, thank you for your attention, I hope you will like it, my choices, this video. If so, it will be great if you leave a like and join to my subscribers, and of course I invite you to my next episode of my favorite board games. So Happy New Year and bye bye!